Hello again, everybody. Isaac Rosenthal joined by Colin Catman. One last time for the I-5 Cup, and although the trophy, that part of it was settled last night, Washington clinching the series thanks to their second victory. We've got one more hockey game to play just the same. Let's get right to it. That finish last night, absolutely something.
Unreal. I've played hockey for 16 years, and that's the first goalie fight I've ever seen live or been a part of. And to go along with the bench clearing brawl, I'm sure we're going to get to it in this pregame. 4 suspended on both sides, both starting goalies out tonight. It's going to be interesting to see how this game goes.
Yeah, and that means we're going to see Ben Green in goal tonight. Another freshman attendee for the Ducks, or another for a rookie anyway for the Ducks. We haven't really seen him much this year. He's looked, we've seen him at times in some bad situations. He got thrown in there in the third period in one of those Utah games and gave up a goal in about a snap just on the first shot he faced. Settled in a little bit, but he's looked like he's still kind of trying to find those sea legs at that level. It's got to be difficult, though, as a goalie to make that adjustment, especially playing as such a consistent backup role.
Well, absolutely. And, last night the Ducks gave up 47 shots, and luckily they had Jackson in net. We don't know how bad of a game that could have been. 47 shots is a ton of shots. If that's going to be the same tonight, which I assume it might be, the Ducks are down Michael Luke and Joe Hoover. Ben Green's going to have he's going to have his work cut out for him, and it'll be interesting to see if he can step up to the task because, like you said, he's kind of been thrown in the fire here. He hasn't had much action, and in this rivalry game, there's still a lot of good players playing on both sides, and because it is a rivalry game, both teams are still going to be amped up, especially from last night. It's not going to be a letdown whatsoever, so Ben Green definitely has to be on his A game tonight.
On the other side in goal, we'll see the graduate student, James Feldman, making what very well could end up being his last appearance as a Husky. He told the team last week, mid-game, that it was going to be his last time playing in Seattle. Apparently, that's what Lorenzo was telling us, that he sort of made that announcement at the second intermission. And we'll see if he ends up getting any time rest of the season or in Tahoe for the Huskies, but this will be his last opportunity to skate in the I-5 Cup. No surprise, we'll have a 4-man system again refereeing this game, and I don't think that's enough to control it given what we saw yesterday.
It could go either way. I'd imagine that it'll be a lot more calmed down this game, but we had no idea what was going to be ahead for us through the first 2 periods. It was looking kind of mellow, pretty clean, and then all of a sudden one thing happens and it leads to another. Mayhem broke out, so I don't know what to expect tonight, but you got to figure that both teams will still come up amped up and ready to go.
It looks like we got a huge crowd already on hand, and still a bunch making their way in. Let's talk about some keys to the game for the Ducks, because this is make no mistake, the I-5 Cup is done. This is a very important game for Oregon, because the Ducks are sort of all of a sudden, one loss on the road to Washington State, one bad trip to SoCal, and a loss that you wouldn't have expected against this Washington team at home. Oregon may not qualify for the Pac-8s right now, which would just be such a huge drop-off for them, coming off of a runner-up performance, going stride for stride with Utah through 40 minutes in that championship game last year, and now they're in a position where they're going to need to get a good game tonight. They're going to need to. Huskies have brought the I-5 Cup onto the bench with them. The Ducks are going to need to have a good game tonight. They're going to need to have 2 strong games against Cal, or they're not going to Tahoe, and that's not a position this Ducks team is used to being in.
Right, well, tonight it's going to be a tough ask, seeing how they're down 2 big defensemen, but they have to shore up the defense. They have a backup goalie in net. They gave up a ton of shots last night. That's not going to work out so well for them tonight if that happens again. And then someone on that forward line, they have to step up. Trevor Schott is out. He's huge for this team, a huge facilitator. Obviously, their top goal scorer, Nick Shabar, he's got to play big tonight. That first line has to play big. The Ducks are down a lot of big guys here tonight, so someone needs to step up.
And with those, you need the role players to step up.
Yep.
You need guys like, Chris Maddox is dressed tonight. We don't see Chris play very often. Darren Toller is going to have a huge role anchoring that blue line tonight with Luke and Hoover out. You know, Toller along with Taron Donnelly, my favorite D pairing, as we all know,
right,
is, you know, they're going to be playing 50% of the minutes tonight, and that's a tough ask for a defenseman. Guys like Seth Starr, who we see making his way onto the ice right now, he's going to need to show up big tonight because you don't have, you know, you don't have that firepower that you would always like to have. Oregon will still have Nick Shabara. They do still have Cody Dries. They do still have Chris Campbell. They've got a lot of the regulars out there, but with Trevor Schott not there, with Joe Hoover not there, with Michael Luke not there, everybody really needs to step up.
But you know what? For these role players, this is their moment. This is their time. You know, they get overshadowed with Trevor Schott in the first line, but tonight's their night. Trevor Schott's not in the game, and now the forwards, the whole unit needs more people to step up. It can't just be Nick Shabara, can't just be Chris Campbell, Cody Dries, and Jesse Leonard. The role players need to step up. This is their time. It's against Washington. If there was ever a moment where the team needed them most, it's tonight. So with that being said, there's got to be that extra fire. Like, yeah, I want this to be my time because there's guys out. I need to fill their spots. So look for the role players to step up tonight.
And for Washington, you've got a chance for the closest thing to a sweep in the I-5 Cup in recent memory. I don't know that the numbers exactly. It's one of those things where the record keeping is a little fuzzy, but I can't remember in the time I've been associated with this rivalry either team going the entire way without getting a win. So, you know, there's a lot of pride at stake for Oregon here to get that win. Washington was in the same boat last year. Ducks steamrolled through 3 games. Washington had a big crowd in Game 4 and came away with a blowout win in Game 4. You'd have never known about the first 3. Huskies look pretty pumped, though, in warm-ups. They don't look sluggish. They don't look like they're going to have much of a hangover problem. They were very proud to bring that I-5 Cup out onto the ice with them for warm-ups, made sure the Duck fans knew what was going on, and you know, it stings a little bit, but I think that the Huskies deserve that.
Well, and you know, the Huskies are in the same boat too because they're down Devin Garg, who we thought was a great player, and we saw him up in Seattle, and now they're down Christian Cinderella, who scored 4 goals last night. So they're in the same boat too. So in that sense, it's an even matchup still. So both teams, they're probably still going to come out that same energy. It's even on both sides as far as
that's
down star power
with the suspensions. You know, both starter goalies are gone. Ben Green doesn't have that excuse. He's facing a backup goalie as well.
Right.
You know, you got big guys on both teams that are down. A couple of key injuries for the Huskies. Devin Garg not dressed. Troy Gasser will not be playing tonight. We understand concussion-like symptoms for Troy, so hope him the best, or wish him the best rather. But you know, you have kind of maybe a B+ unit from both teams. You know that each team is missing just enough, but they're also from up here, from our perspective, it looks like they're kind of missing equally. So Washington's going to have their role players looking to step up as well tonight. And really, you know, maybe that'll even give us a great hockey. Maybe that'll even make it a better hockey game. Maybe that can kind of force the players to buckle down a little bit and just really focus on giving us a good, clean 60 minutes of hockey. It would be the first good, clean 60 minutes of hockey, perhaps, in I-5 Cup history. It's not usually good, clean hockey, but it's always entertaining. We're going to take a quick break here, get all our pregame logistics sorted out, and we'll be back with you for the Anthems shortly. Don't go anywhere. We're going to go ahead and make sure we've got our audio and our cameras running because we're about to have a ceremonial puck drop here. And the last time we had a ceremonial puck drop in this series, it was conversation starting.
I hope we have a contentious face-off here.
So we'll just keep rolling. We'll see. Chris Campbell was not suspended, so we'll see what kind of trouble he can get himself into. Before we do that, a quick rundown of the starters for Washington. James Feldman in goal, Josh McGrew and Ryan Ameren on the blue line, Alex Black, Tavin Jackson, and Tyler Jennings round out that starting offensive unit for them. And for Oregon, it's going to be Ben Green, Taron Donnelly, Harrison Landers, Jesse Leonard, Nick Scabara, and Chris Campbell. So here we go for the ceremonial face-off. It will be Campbell against Braden Kokok, and we can hear behind us some Husky players who maybe remember that ceremonial puck drop looking for Braden to win the face-off. So this may be one of the most hotly contested ceremonial puck drops ever. And Campbell does get the win and just goes in for the handshake this time. So no harm, no foul. Connor McBride, by the way, is out there on skates for some reason. I never know what's going on there. And we'll take a quick break for the anthem and be right back for puck drop. So what happened there was somebody asked Connor McBride if he had any version of the Star Spangled Banner on his iPod.
And he said, oh, yeah.
And he said, oh, I gotcha. And then Mr. Hendricks entered the building. So there you have it, the first time the Jimi Hendrix version of the national anthem has ever been used at a sporting event, making broadcast and hockey history every night here in Lane County.
Interesting note to point out here, Isaac. We said it earlier, but we were wrong. Devin Garg is actually in the lineup.
Yeah, and that's
Huskies.
massive.
That's big.
You and I were kind of jokingly saying that we're setting the over-under on goals for this game at about 18, but that might be low. We saw almost that many last night, and a couple of backups tonight. You had a chance to watch both of those guys in warm-ups. We'll ask you for your thoughts on them in a couple of moments here when we get the opportunity, as the Ducks have to go back to chase that one down in the neutral zone. Rosenberg tapped it back to Donnelly. Donnelly and Toller are out there on defense, so that's already a different D pair than we were told was going to start. But they don't tell us these things. They did a senior night ceremony before the game. The Ducks have 2 home games left.
Yeah.
They don't tell us those things either, so there you go. And as it stands now, cross ice pass there from the Ducks couldn't be handled cleanly, and Washington will dump it in. The Huskies get a change, so you did get a good look at both of these guys in warm-ups. What's your impression on these tendies, Colin?
Well, both the biggest issue for both of these goalies is going to be rebound control. And we said it a lot last night, but I think it's going to be even more of an issue today, because what I noticed from both these goalies, what we've noticed from Ben Green before, just not very good at controlling the rebounds. So that's going to be an issue for both teams today.
And we'll see how this game develops. Little bit kind of sloppy feel to it already. Haven't had much in the way of a clean shot so far. A little bit over a minute in with 18:40 remaining in the first period. There is a touch from James White, J.D. White for Washington's out there, along with Devin Garg. That 21 very visible with that jersey tuck. And they try to center it towards him immediately to the Huskies. Couldn't get it there. And now they go back in the corner for it. Tapped out and a chance for the Ducks to move out. Seth Starr with Chris Maddox. That was, looked a little like Maddox. That was Zach Foss, actually. Wearing a different number today than tomorrow. Now Maddox is out there. Yeah, Foss will wear the 10 in green and the 20 in white. Or black as they were in last night. Tevin Jackson with it for the Huskies through the neutral zone. Gets around Toller, and the shot into Ben Green. He makes the save.
And didn't give up a rebound there either.
Yeah.
That's a good sign.
That's almost as big as is the save itself. Just get that clean save. Get
save
that
out of the way.
built.
Absolutely. I'm pumped for the song choices tonight by McBride. That's going to be big. We've already heard Adele. We've heard Jimi Hendrix doing the national anthem.
Greatest thing ever. That needs to happen every game. Firm belief there. Husky shot is blocked, and a big hit thrown by Chris Campbell. Huskies keep the puck, though. Tavin Jackson with it. Jackson centering, loose in front of Ben Green, and now the Ducks with it. Half chance for a 3-on-2 here for the Ducks if they're quick enough. Taron Donnelly gets her on demand. Chris Campbell with it now. Campbell shoots, and it goes wide. It's the best look the Ducks have had so far, and Campbell still with it behind the net. It's loose in front. Rosenberg looking for the tap-in. He couldn't handle it, and it's cleared by the Huskies, and now cleanly handled through the neutral zone across the blue line. Washington gets it. Knocked away. Green. Loose in front. Still dangerous for the Huskies, and now Oregon gets to it cleanly. Rosenberg tipped around a man. No harm, no foul eventually. And Toller has to dump that in. The Ducks get the change. 17:05 left. First period, still no score. And tapped away. Oregon with it. They get the shot through. Rebound is controlled. A skirmish in front of Mr. Feldman. I feel like he's a graduate student. He should be addressed as Mr. Feldman.
Mr. Feldman.
And that's gonna it's gonna lead to some minor extracurriculars already. Keep an eye on that for the rest of the night. Cody Drees in there gets the face-off win back to Jesse Leonard, who we learned last night has been known to go by Juice, or maybe that's just his sister and maybe he hates it, but there's no way to get a nickname to stick better than not liking it. That one goes down the length of the ice, will be waved off as Alex Black got to it first. Harrison Landers knocked him down though, and the Ducks with the puck. Chris Maddox wants it wide. Drees instead will just dump it in, and now we go for a change.
Pat Taylor set a little basketball pick there, allowed Cody to skate through the neutral zone unharmed.
And already a bit of a coming together. Seth Starr was knocked down at around center ice by Braden Kochek and gave him a little shove as he was getting up. Seth is a guy we haven't really seen much this season, and I think he's got a lot to show us.
Oh, absolutely.
Certainly has great flow.
Well, and tonight would be the night to show us, because like we had said earlier, some of these guys are going to need to step up, and they're going to get a lot of ice time. And already with a nice little poke check there on Garg.
Yeah, and that's Garg's a good player for certainly, as he backhands one wide of Ben Green there. Every save Green can make is a good one. That one goes wide. 15:35 left first period. Huskies, again, just going back to the strategy of throwing it on goal. Throwing it on goal, throwing it on goal. Certainly worked for them last night, racking up close to 50 shots. And now the Huskies still with it, loose and cleared halfway. Jackson with it, and Tevin Jackson scores from about the blue line.
It looks like Taron Donnelly is trying to tell the ref there was goalie interference, and to be honest with you, I thought there might have been, because Ben Green just didn't get up after he made the initial save.
And there is some discussion here between the referees.
I don't think it's
the kind of discussion that
I think
Ben
they're maybe
Green
just
wants.
consulting to make sure, but this goal is going to stand.
It's kind of just a little fluttery shot from Jackson there from a long way out. 15:17 left in the first period. And as it stands, that goal will count. So Ben Green tried to make the argument, but not listening to him was the ref, and he'll just cover that one up. Fantastic crowd, though, tonight. Unfortunate that they weren't here last night.
Now, one thing I have noticed with Ben Green is that he is slow to get up on initial saves. So if he was, in fact, not interfered with, that's going to be an issue for the Ducks if Ben Green can't move across his crease and get up quick enough. Because, like we've seen already, the Huskies are just throwing it on net at will. So that will be an issue if they continue to do that and Ben Green doesn't react properly.
And we got a penalty coming up here. Interference, the call.
Rosenberg.
Rosenberg will tell you the only reason he got the whistle there is he's the bigger guy. You'll hear that from big guys a lot.
That was a hold, so I didn't really see it, and Rosenberg really couldn't believe it either. So, just have to go with the ref on this one.
He's still jawing at Kasparovsky, and Kaspar's been known to give as well as he can take there. Penalty clock ain't running. They got to get that penalty timer enabled. They'll have to get the horn going there, maybe take 30 seconds or 15 seconds off that penalty, although we saw it the other way. Last night, the Ducks had about five fewer seconds of penalty killing time on one of their penalties as the clock didn't start, or didn't stop. And don't know if any of the referees noticed that clock issue.
I think that's what Cody Dries might be telling the ref. But
we've passed the point of people caring, I think, at this point in the series. As long as folks are behaving themselves, I think the referees are happy. Although
they're going to fix it.
They were just waiting for me to make the statement that they wouldn't.
I was looking down there. Kevin knew what was going on. It might be just something with the board.
Well, so I've used that board a lot, and what'll happen if that penalty timer isn't enabled and you turn it back on, that won't take effect until you start and stop the clock next.
Oh, okay.
And that may have taken him, I'm not sure that he knew that. I think McBride, they eventually got it figured out.
Yeah, they took 6
But
seconds
if you
off.
just kind of, quickly stop it and start it, no one will realize that the game clock is stopped. And once it starts up again, the penalty clock will start as well.
Okay.
It's a board from about 1934. So. What's the call there?
I guess the referee didn't like it.
Give him a T for that.
I was looking at it, and White did run into the ref. I didn't see him push him or anything, but
that's,
that referee was not going to tolerate it.
If you're wearing purple I think that's a pretty soft call. Well, the Ducks will take what they can get as it stands. I feel like if you're going to run into the referee intentionally, you're going to get a lot more out of it than 2 minutes. Of course, there was that Oregon State basketball player the other last week.
That?
Wasn't that?
I've never seen that.
Folks, if you don't know what Colin and I are referring to, do you remember his name?
No, I can't.
If you just look up Oregon State trip referee, that's exactly what happened. The Oregon State player didn't like the call, and anyone who's watched Pac-12 basketball knows he probably had a case, but didn't like a call that was made against him, kicks his leg out and trips a referee in the middle of a real game. That ended up costing him a couple games. And back to this one, the save made by Ben Green with 13:16 left in the first period and a 1-0 Husky lead on Tavin Jackson's goal. That you want to call it controversial? Maybe last night would have been a little more controversial. I think it's hard for anything to really feel that much of a controversy tonight. But it just leaves that much more of a sour taste in the Duck mouths as they felt like Green was interfered with.
Well, anytime there's traffic around the net and a goal is scored, it's only natural for a defenseman and a goalie to try and plead the case like, hey, someone ran in. Yeah, why wouldn't you? You're trying to maybe spark a conversation between the refs that hopefully will get overturned. It's one of those unwritten rule type things amongst goalies and defensemen where if there is a ton of traffic, you kind of just want to find a way for the referee to get on your side on the thing. But from what I've seen from Ben Green before, it wouldn't surprise me if he just wasn't quick enough to get up from the initial save.
Harrison Landers with the shot knocked down by Zach Foss, and now the Huskies tried to break out. Good job from Jesse Leonard to get a skate on that. And Jake Yale trying to tap it past his man, couldn't, but goes back for the Ducks. And Jake Yale is sat down there by Tavin Jackson, who had a look at Yale after, and then Yale stick checked. And they lose the puck, and now it goes the length of the ice. Green will play it.
The Ducks got away with an offsides there. I could not believe Kasparowski didn't call that.
12:13 left, first period. The Ducks on a power play for about a half a dozen more seconds. That was a dangerous shot, deflecting off 36 sticks on its way through the zone. Ducks still with it. They'll get another power play.
Or cross check.
Is that going to be? We'll see who goes on the cross-checking call. Pat Taylor will sit down.
That's a good call. But in front of the net, you do see a lot of cross-checks, and most times it's not called. And I think I've mentioned this before, I actually have a gripe with that rule because as a defenseman, I'm getting checked by a forward, I'm checking back, and you never know when the referee's going to call it. So in Pat Taylor's defense, that's a call that's not normally made because there is a ton of cross-checking going on in front of the net.
And a backhand goal there from the Huskies. So Taylor's break is a short one, and Washington makes it 2-0 mid-second, or mid-first rather.
Well, it just goes right back to rebounds. It's another rebound goal.
And especially on the power play, you got to try to not give those rebounds up. Because the odds of giving that goal up when you got one fewer guys out there to get the body on it is just not very high. Or not very low that you're not going to make the save. I know what I'm trying to say. I might not be doing a very good job of saying it. And they give it to Alex Black for the Huskies, number 9. So, who knows if the script was to follow last night exactly. This is the best start the Ducks could have imagined after they jumped out to a 2-0 lead last night and Washington controlled scoring the rest of the way. That one, another save made by Green. 11:29 left in the first period, and Oregon looking for their first goal.
Well, it's time for the Ducks to answer. I mean, like you said, last night the Ducks had 2 early goals in the first. So Washington answered. Time for the Ducks to flip that script.
Great music. Anytime McBride's working that box.
And he's got the turntables there, too.
McBride, again, a talented musician in his own right. Traffic in front of the Duck net, and it'll go into the corner. Taryn Donnelly flipped it forward, tried to find Pat Taylor. It was too far, and then goes out to the blue line and was shot on goal by Washington and up into the netting.
That puck had eyes. That's a great save by Ben Green.
What are we looking for the Ducks to try and change the rest of this game?
Well, they got to shore it up defensively again. 11-3 in shots. 11 shots through 9 minutes. That's and if it's any indication of what we saw last night, it's looking like it might be another 40 to 50 shot night for the Huskies.
And another save made by Green there, and why not? I mean, if it ain't broke, we've said it all year. Another skirmish in front of Green a little bit thereafter. Joseph Kinkoff kind of crashed in hard, and Landers pushed him away.
If the Ducks are going to get anything started, it's going to be with this line right here. It's going to be with Nick Shabar, Chris Campbell, and Jesse Leonard. These guys, this is the line that the rest of the team's going to look towards to get the scoring started. They got a lot of pressure on them tonight with the players that we've already mentioned being out. This is the line that needs to step up.
Look for Pat Taylor to have a big game tonight if he can. Taylor's a guy who hasn't been as big of a piece of the squad this year as he was at times last year, but really came alive in Tahoe last year and just played out of his soul in the Pac-8 tournament. And he's a guy that maybe has more to show us than he showed us at times this year. And this is a game where he can make that statement of, hey, I'm still here. I've still got stuff to offer. Another shot from Jackson there is blockered away. Goes back behind the net, and Taylor with the puck now. Here's Hat-Trick Patrick Taylor himself. Earned that nickname in Tahoe. And Landers throws it in. Weird deflections, ends up going wide. Scooby will go to take it. And Campbell gets to it. Campbell will find it to Landers, and right back to him, back to Harrison. Flipped around back behind the net for Patrick Taylor. Taylor's hit, though. Puck is now glued at their skates. And now in front, the shot is wide, and nobody on there for the rebound for the Ducks, so the deflection in. Landers' a shot, rebound, knocked back behind the net by the Huskies. Centering again, and continues to be rough going for the Ducks, just trying to get offense set up here, but Nick Scabara talented with the puck, one-timer scores!
That's the line. This was the line that the Ducks needed to step up, and they did. Like you said, they couldn't get anything for him, but they were putting pressure on the Huskies in their offensive zone. That's just big. This line, they need to keep doing this because, with the guys being out that we've said, that's the line with the most star power. They got it done. Looks like the script might be flipped, but early call.
Did you see, I'm not sure if you got a good look at it, or if you were looking more holistically at the game, but that the stick handling there from Scooby to keep that play alive, I think it was Chris Campbell that ended up finishing that one up.
Yes.
Yeah, it was Campbell, but Scooby made a great play because he was about to get that poked away from him, and through a lot of traffic, he took the puck right back, and just a nice, clean sliding pass that Campbell was able to put home. So there you go for the Ducks. A great goal there, but they still do trail 2-1, and in this game, they're looking to win for the Pride victory. In front there, and Huskies fans at it now with 3-on-2 for the Ducks. 3-on-2 with Foss, Donnelly, and Cody Drees out there. Drees goes for the hit after he lost the puck. Donnelly tried to get it, keeping it in. Jake Yale throws it toward goal, and now Washington with it. They get the chance to move Alex Black across the blue line. Washington's changing behind them, but Black's still with it. And Black is hit by Taryn Donnelly. Washington able to retain possession in the far corner. And Tavin Jackson behind the net, centering, good save. Made by Ben Green on a great pass indeed. Huskies still with it after one very dangerous opportunity. Donnelly trying to get it up to Zach Foss there. Foss is tangled up, a Husky falling down. And Darren Toller to get this one behind the net. caroms it around for Sam Rosenberg.
You know, the defense and the centers really need to pay attention to who's parked out in front of the net because the Huskies have been running that the entire game.
And Tavin Jackson goes for the slapper there, trying to beat Green. Blocker side, it went wide. And we got a Husky hitting to the bench there.
Wow.
Big, clean hit from the Ducks. So where am I, he says, as he comes over the boards. And the Huskies there,
That
it was
got a
Ryan
couple laughs
Jammerin meeting some new friends.
From his own teammates right next to us.
Well, I think that, this is an all right position to be in for the Huskies. You're still winning the game. You won the I-5 Cup already. And have some fun at your teammates' expense. Hockey is perhaps the only sport where that kind of mentality exists. I don't think if you were to see maybe week 17, if the starting quarterback was sitting out and his backup got lit up, I don't think he'd be laughing.
No.
But hockey players are a strange breed. We've said it once. We'll say it many times again. Nick Scabara with it. Trying to find Taylor again, but too far. Campbell was going for the big hit. Had to put the brakes on after Graham Gustafson got rid of the puck there. Smart play from Campbell, as much as he probably wanted to keep it going. And Jesse Leonard involved there behind the net with Braden Kochek. And Ducks trying to get it up to Taylor. Taylor rips it wide. Oregon getting a new group out there, or at least new defenseman. Darren Toller up for Chris Campbell. Campbell had a Husky closing in on him, so he just flipped it towards center ice. Foss throwing his weight around. Ducks are offside, had to get back on as that one dumped in. 6 minutes left first period. Darren Toller tried to chip it for Foss, but Foss had gone the other way. It goes behind the net, and Washington with it. Dries plays it back for Gustafson again, not handled cleanly. And now taken by Washington, and
that'll get the arm every time.
Penalty behind the play.
Oh, I thought it was going to be on Foss.
We get a hold there?
Yep.
So, sitting down is Graham Gustafson for holding.
This is how the Huskies clawed their way back into this game last night, was through the power play. And, you know, the Ducks, they have the Huskies on their heels right now, I think, and they got a good line out there. This would be a great opportunity for them to get the equalizer here.
Well, Taron Donnelly rips it wide, looking for that. Oh, did that one ever take a positive Duck bounce off the end boards? But there was no Duck there to slam it home. Ducks on the power play. Haven't seen a whole lot of Devin Garg tonight for Washington, despite the fact that he's healthy enough to be playing, so maybe he's just sort of testing the waters a little bit.
Probably.
Harrison Landers. Shot goes through, a little bit of traffic, deflected wide. 5:07 left, back for Landers. Landers will rip it again, that's deflected. Goalie knocked down, and
Harrison
no goal
Landers
there.
is having himself a shift on this power play. Those were two great shots, two great rebound opportunities. That's what we need to see out of the Ducks tonight, because we've already seen it. Friedman is giving up a ton of rebounds, and we saw a ton of garbage goals last night. Look to see more of those tonight as well.
4:40 left first period, 55 seconds left on that penalty to Gustafson as the Ducks looking to do something with it, tie this game on the equalizer, or on the power play. Dries behind the net, back for Leonard. And Leonard flips it back for Dries again. 4:20 left first period. That one goes through, and save made there by Feldman. He's looked pretty strong tonight.
He has.
Any Husky fans that happen to know what Mr. Feldman is studying as a grad student, we'd love to hear about it in the group chat. Also, as always, we'd love to hear where you're watching from. We know every once in a while we'll get somebody watching overseas all around the world. Noah Rosenberg, if you're watching again in Israel, shalom to you, sir. 3:45 left first period. Jesse Leonard gets to that one. Finds Chris Campbell. Huskies back to even strength. And Campbell just sort of informally knocked that one on goal, and now Nick Skabara with it. Skabara still with it, turns and couldn't get a clean shot.
Miscommunication there between Toller and Campbell. Both are looking at each other, seeing who was going to get the puck. You know, even though they couldn't capitalize.
Penalty coming up against Washington here. There's the touch and there's the whistle.
You know, even though they couldn't capitalize on that last power play, it still looked very good. Harrison Landers did a great job from the point, getting quality shots on net. I said it before earlier this season, low and hard, and that'll get the rebound every time. Looks like that first line on the power play won't be out there.
I like this line though.
But this is a good line, yes.
You have a couple.
Well, we saw Taron Donnelly pull out the moves last night, and he's got a good shot himself. So the defensemen need to get involved on this power play because that's what will create the rebounds.
And this is a unit from the Ducks offensively with Foss, Yeo, and
get a penalty there.
Dries, and we'll go to 4-on-4.
That's a tough one. That's a tough penalty to take, and it's going to be a hold. You just can't do that, especially when you're down 2-1. You just got another power play. That's a tough penalty to take. I didn't personally see the hold, but
tight game tonight, though. They're calling it real tight tonight.
It's really tight, yes.
So 4-on-4 for a minute and 45 seconds. If we, that's I guess assuming we don't go to 4-on-3. Huskies with it, lots of space out there, and the Ducks, as they would be inclined to do in a 4-on-4 situation, have number 9 out there. Campbell going for a shot of his own there, has it knocked away. Nick Skabara, we saw yesterday, one of the best skaters in this conference. Strong skating, strong stick handling, strong shot. Good all-around player, and he had a great goal last night on the breakaway. Backhand top shelf.
Oh, I thought
not a sequence of words you hear very often, but when you're confident like Scooby is, you can do it. Puck's loose there. Ducks are trying to slam it in. Somehow they're not able to get it home, and we got a penalty coming up here. And this is going to be, could be something significant because we look like to have an injured goalie.
Down.
Looks like the only guy called so far is Jamarin. And the Huskies are incensed. They can't believe it. Feldman's up and on his feet. We'll see what the call is against Jamarin.
I'd imagine it'd be a rough or a slash, one of the two.
Did you get a good look at what happened there? I'm assuming that...
Well, there was a swarm around the net. Feldman was down face first. He might have taken a stick to the head or close to that area. I couldn't really see it, but he's definitely not happy, and the Huskies aren't happy either. Husky coaches.
He's never
the ref an
Matt
earful.
Clayton is never happy.
But I don't think the Huskies have an argument because if the puck's loose, you're allowed as a player to poke as much as you want. I mean,
and it's one thing if the goalie is,
unless you're inadvertently slashing the goalie. As the goalie, you're going to get hit by a stick a couple times. So, that argument doesn't hold water. If they're arguing that, I don't know if they're arguing that, but I want to hear the penalty here because I didn't really see anything.
Well, it is only 2 minutes that go up.
It was a hold?
And a hold seems to be the penalty du jour. So 4-on-3, just like we said. Landers with the shot. It's wide.
That's a hold in front of the net? That doesn't make any sense. If I were the Huskies, I would be upset because that doesn't make much sense.
Well, now...
what are you holding if you're all swarmed around the net, But Ducks will take it.
A lot of real estate out there with a 4-on-3.
Hey, you jinxed it. 4-on-3.
And it's loose. Rebound was there, but the Ducks couldn't get there first. Still a 2-1 game. I can't believe it's only 2-1 at this stage. So that one caroms hard off the boards, goes down the length of the ice. No ice as the Huskies on the penalty kill, rather. 1:12 left, and now we're back to even strength. 4-on-4 for 10 seconds, then we'll be back to 5-on-4. My, how things have changed. 1 minute left in the first period. Still a 2-1 Husky lead. In this Game 4 of the I-5 Cup, the Huskies won Game 1. We had a tie in Game 2. Washington clinched it in Game 3 last night. 56 seconds left on that clock.
He didn't get him down, so you just held him up, so I think that's why they called. Oh, okay.
And Jake Yale able to control it a little bit off the face-off there, but now it's behind the net for the Huskies. And they'll throw it the length of the ice. They'll try to get to that one. I'm not sure Ben Green realized how close Devin Garg was to him there. But in the end, it's the Ducks with the puck. Garg back out there by my count. Not a lot of ships for Garg so far, but he's a guy you'll always notice when he's out there. Tried to poke that one away from Toller. Does go outside the blue line, so the Ducks have to regroup. Garg's just playing real high pressure up there, trying to get to it, and Aaron Toller knocks a man down and then has to get his stick out, or his skate rather, out of the side of Tavin Jackson. Did that hit the rafters? I heard that hit metal. It certainly wasn't the post. But we got 9 seconds left officially in the first period. Still a 2-1 score, but a chance for Oregon with the face-off right here in front of net. And that will go through to the neutral zone, and that is going to do it for the first period. First 20 minutes concludes. Washington looking for the, it's not quite a sweep. They did have the tie, but Washington looking to finish the I-5 Cup undefeated against the boys in green and yellow. And the Ducks looking for that consolation victory. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back with you. Don't go anywhere. Well, first things first, Colin.
Yep.
Apologies to Mama Gasser. Troy just came over here to say he's fine. He doesn't have a concussion. We got our notes mixed up. Some of the quick pregame rundown that we got. So
Troy Gasser.
Definitely didn't mean to scare you. And thank you for watching our broadcast. I hope that all's well with you and that it finds you well. And a lot of the Husky parents actually have reached out to us. We spoke a little bit during the intermission with Jeffrey Miles' family. Apparently they were stuck in the airport last night and didn't get to actually see the game, but were able to catch up with all the activities on our broadcast. So all the friends and foes that watch the broadcast, it's good to have you. We couldn't do it without all of you. Back to this game. Let's recap that first period. Second night in a row, it's 2-1 after the first period. This time it's Washington with the lead. Washington with the decided shots on goal advantage, or a little closer this time.
It was close. It's looking at it, it was pretty even, 15-14.
So there you go. Washington jumped out to the 2-0 lead. Oregon got the next one, which is exactly the flip of the script from last night. And let's talk about those goals. The only one there's anything to really be said about is that first goal. Tavin Jackson scored kind of a fluttery shot from maybe 50, 75 feet. And you're not sure if Ben Green maybe was just a little slow to get up. Ben Green certainly thought he was impaired on that way up, but referees weren't having any of it. The goal stood, and then just a couple of moments later, Alex Black was able to make it 2-0 on a rebound on the power play. Oregon got the goal back on the one-timer, Chris Campbell from Nick Scabara. So we're a little bit of a strange position for the Ducks to be in this whole game, and we've talked about that with, somewhere between nothing and everything to play for tonight. The cup isn't there, but you still have packets. Those are still important. They're still the Huskies, so It's still a big game, but that trophy is sitting, safely on the Huskies bench right now, or maybe they took it to the locker room with them. I didn't happen to note it, but can you relate to that position the Ducks are in? Any parallels in your career, Colin?
Well, as a hockey player, you just want to win the game. So, and because it's against Washington, look, all you can do at this point, look, the I-5 Cup, it's already in the Huskies' hand. There's nothing you can do about that. But all you can do now is win this game. Hopefully that'll help you and boost your chances of getting into the Pac-8 tournament. But both goalies tonight have played very well. Who is it?
Which really isn't, to be fair, it's not something that I don't mean to throw shade at either goaltender.
Absolutely not.
But it's not something that we expected. And they both, it's not that we expected them to be bad, it's just that they were dealt a rough hand.
Right.
But, they've both been making some good saves. They've been in solid positions. They've been, for the most part, controlling their rebounds. And that's as much as you can ask for from them in a position like this.
Well, you like to see this out of Ben Green because this is a big game. And he stepped up. He's faced 15 shots through the first, and that's close to the same number that Jackson faced yesterday. And just like Jackson let in 2, he's had a good game so far. He's held his own. That's good to see. But James Feldman has looked very good too. And you have to figure this is his last I-5 Cup game. He's not going to go out quietly. So look for these two teams to continue to battle it out in the second. We might see the scoring open up. It might still be the same, but the Ducks really did pick it up there towards the end of the second period. That first line was huge, but the Ducks, if I heard correctly, will start this period on the penalty kill because of a roster issue.
Oh, are they? Well,
that's what Kevin told me.
So are they going to enforce that? We're just going to wave it off. Technically there's a rule, and would make sense as a rule, but you have to play the number that. So what they're going to do is Seth Starr for the Ducks is written down as number 66 on the score sheet because that's his jersey number, and 2 out of the 3 jerseys the Ducks wear. Wearing the other one tonight, so he's wearing number 11. So there was some discussion. By the book, that's a penalty. It would be, it's one of those things that I think, frankly, from a refereeing perspective, you got to make that call immediately if you're going to make it. Absolutely. You can't let the whole first period go by. But
that is something that the Washington bench could bring up too. It's in the coach's right to mention because both, right. at least to my knowledge, both coaches are given the score sheet before the game.
I don't know how this rule works in hockey, how it's exactly written. The closest parallel I can think of in sports is batting order in baseball. And if a guy bats out of order in baseball and you pitch to him, as soon as you've thrown him that first pitch, you cannot call him out.
Right.
So, here's Star's going to sit the penalty. So, I don't know if that comes down to who filled out the score sheet, if it was Stanky, if it was Coach Leahy, or who it was. Leahy signed it, ultimately.
Well, so he should have saw it. But
that maybe comes back to the head coach. Not the Blazers had that happen to him a couple weeks ago, didn't they? Had that. Who was it that missed the game due to the coach signing?
C.J. McCollum, the second best player.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the correct sport. We are on some sort of frozen surface with 10 guys with swords on their feet, and we're playing hockey. 19:45 left in the second period. We're just underway, period number 2. The Huskies on the power play, and does that get written down? Is it unsportsmanlike? Bench minor?
It'd have to be a bench minor, I think.
It's interesting, though, because I don't think it's a coincidence that it's served by Star. Well, there we go again, though. The Ducks are short-handed, and we'll eventually, when we get an opportunity, maybe the next whistle, we'll see if Bella can give us a pan of the crowd, because it is a great
nice crowd
turnout here tonight. And they were bussing guys in from campus. I was hearing we're expecting to have upwards of 500-600 people here tonight.
Wow.
Which is about 5-6 times as many people as we're used to seeing when the Ducks host these games. So it's too bad they couldn't have been here last night, but this crowd filling out a little bit more. There was some preparation for the game that I think some of these fans were still concluding in that first period. So maybe the crowd will be able to impact the game a little bit more period 2 than they were period 1, as down goes a Husky there. Oh, good cross-zonal pass there, but of all people, Devin Gard couldn't handle it cleanly. And Black still with it behind the net for the Huskies. 30 seconds left on the whatever it is penalty to Seth Starr. Not saying it's, he is wearing a number that's not on the score sheet, but he was doing that all the first period. And
good effort there, Nick.
Great clearance from Nick Scabara.
A lot of heart.
A lot of heart in that kid. 110% heart. Harrison Landers is going to carry him that one all the way around.
This is interesting. We've seen, I think, 3 periods so far in this series start out with a man advantage, and for both sides. And none of those teams have been able to capitalize. That was a great penalty kill for the Ducks. Nick Scabara with a huge play there to get the puck out of the net, but they played sound defensively there.
And collision there will get the Duck fans hyped. Jake Yale trying to dig at that one, can't control it. Jesse Leonard can't handle it. And here's Zach Foss. Zach Foss moving confidently through the zone. Foss dips it back for Dries. That shot and is saved. Net looked like it moved a little bit, but stayed on its moorings. No whistle coming.
Yeah, if it's moved a slight bit, the ref will never call it, unless the play is around the net.
Or unless they end up waving off a goal a la Jonathan Quick versus Russia. American hero Jonathan Quick.
There's the Kings plug. We've been waiting for it all series.
That was an America plug, sir. That was an America game. Where is your national pride? 16:53 left. I didn't actually get a Kings plug-in yesterday.
You did?
That might be why the Ducks lost.
You did get another plug-in, though. I just can't remember what exactly. Oh, Mighty Ducks. That's what it was.
Well, one of those. Usually we'll get both of those in a game. We'll see if maybe the Ducks can change uniforms for the third period. Give me a chance to say that again. That did happen once. 16:30 left. Yeah, College of the Canyons. They started out, they were wearing these greens, and College of the Canyons was wearing like a blue-black jersey, and they were just a little bit too close together. So for the second period, hoping that no one would notice, I guess, Oregon just comes out and they're all whites.
And were they forced to go back to the greens? Or
no.
They stayed.
Have you not seen the movie? There is no rule against changing uniforms.
I've been a part of that before, actually, so yeah, that makes sense.
Makes it a lot harder on the referees, too. I think the players can recognize each other for the most part, but...
Yeah, it does. I can imagine that would. Well, I think it goes for both sides, actually, because at this level, you can't really be staring anyone down when you want to pass, so you're kind of looking in your peripherals, and if you see someone with the same color, you could easily mess up on a pass.
They tried to get that one to Rosenberg. Starr's going to go back to chase it down, and Starr with a bit of a hit there. Seth Starr on the score sheet, might as well get his money's worth out of the night. As Donnelly goes to chase that one down. We're already almost 5 minutes through this second period. Quick 2 minutes killed on the penalty to Starr earlier. And Foss collects that one, keeps it. Backhand pass for Toller. Toller back for Donnelly. Darren is a big dude out there on the ice.
He is.
And an Olay move there from Jake Yale, able to avoid the contact, not able to avoid the turnover. As Harrison Landers is hit hard, but then goes for a hit of his own, and another skirmish there. Landers, a little fiery guy for the Ducks in his own right. 15-15 left, second period. Donnelly with it behind the net. Now coming through the zone. Donnelly might try to go coast to coast here. We've seen him do it before. Donnelly's still with it, and he's lit up, and he is hurt. And another infraction behind the Ducks net. There's a whistle. And it's Gustafsson for the Huskies getting involved with somebody. Let's take us through that hit on Taron Donnelly.
He just didn't see him coming. Head wasn't down, but he wasn't looking all around, more straight ahead of him. And I don't know who hit him, but it was a clean hit.
Very clean.
It was clean, and it was that's just a tough one, you know. And I don't think Donnelly's hurt, but he's definitely got to shake the cobwebs there.
And it was the roughing penalty here is not the hit on Donnelly.
Right. Well, I'm surprised they wouldn't take Cody here too. I think in this situation you'd probably take both.
Well, you've been known to say that before.
I said that last night. Because in this case, Cody was the one that initiated it. I don't think he was going to do anything harmful. He kind of just coasted up to the guy, maybe just to say something or give him a bump. But
that far behind the play, though, you push your guy all the way down, you're going to get a penalty. So there we go. Husky players behind us encouraging Graham Gustafsson. And that one short-handed up behind the play off the netting. Boy, that was a big hit.
Yeah, you don't see that much at this level because most of the players are able to see pretty good, or like while they're skating the puck up. Donnelly came in kind of slow. I think he was trying to plot out what he was going to do, and the next thing you know, Husky player just comes out of nowhere and lights him up. But hopefully he's all right. I think he'll be all right. Just got to shake the cobwebs, take a few shifts off.
Yeah, it looked, when he first went down, it looked a little scary, but I think it was really just a case of getting his bell rung a little bit, maybe a little bit winded, but would expect him to be okay. That's why Dylan is showing me the Wikipedia page from Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
It's actually North Carolina, even more in the middle of nowhere.
Well, wherever it is, thank you for watching, sir.
Ma'am.
And every game, and then some folks in Southern California, where I hail from. Good to see everyone listening, and keep up those comments in the group chat. We love hearing from all of you. 13:45 left, second period. Ducks trying to get that equalizer. Jake Yale trying to find Sam Rosenberg. Rosenberg's got the green light from anywhere across the blue line. And we got a Husky player a little bit slow to get up. Referee is just watching him there in front of the net. And finally able to pick himself up is Josh McGrew. Shot there, scores!
Sammy Forgles!
Sammy Forgles himself. And that's a big one from Sammy on his 21st birthday.
Happy birthday.
Might add. I'm just impressed that he's standing on his 21st birthday. the afternoon and evening after the midnight where I turned 21, I did not know that I would have been able to play a hockey game.
Sammy, 4 goals, took a page out of the Huskies playbook, just threw the puck on net. Good things happen when you throw the puck on net.
He's got a
What's
great
the quote?
shot.
Tell me the quote, Isaac, that Wayne Gretzky said that every hockey player knows.
Oh, you miss 100% of those shots that you don't take, and that is a quote that I think I can envision Sammy having above his bed where he sleeps at night, because he will just fire it from anywhere on the ice, and we've seen him score a lot of times this season. You know, from very, very high in the slot, almost at the blue line on just a wrist shot. And we talked to him about that, and he said when he's got the puck, as soon as he crosses the blue line, he hears Coach Leahy just saying, "Shoot!" which normally is not really a sign of understanding the game, but with the player like Sammy out there, he's got a shot. He can score from pretty much anywhere on the ice. Whistle comes up as that's a little bit tied up in the equipment of Mr. Feldman, Dr. Feldman, perhaps. Maybe at the end of the year it'll be Dr. Feldman. 12:40 left.
Not often do you see graduate students, play for, a club team like this. That's pretty cool.
Pretty competitive, yeah. A lot of academic rigor. We've talked about what these undergrads have to go through, but
yeah, for a graduate
grad student
yeah.
as well, they have to do that on the road. Cody Dries checked a little bit and then has a word with JD White there. Keep an eye on that matchup, or maybe I think the fight card might have 17 and 8 on it.
Looks like we have another puck on the ice there.
Referee or linesman will go to get to it, and something whistled, and
could be someone's chuck a puck. They got started a little early.
Linesman's having a word with him. Huskies seem to think it's a penalty against the Ducks.
I don't believe so. Kasparowski's directing traffic there, no penalty.
He says, no. He's always the head ref, even when he's not a referee.
Oh.
That goes down, and Pat Taylor from his knees trying to tap that one in. He can't believe there's no trip called.
Coach Leahy couldn't believe it either. Nick Sabar with a big hit there.
That will draw a penalty, though.
On Tyler Jennings.
And then Pat Taylor running for a hit. So we've reached and hit everything that moves point. And Landers with the touch-up, and there's the whistle. And more whistles. We'll see if we get just the one penalty or maybe more.
Yeah, we got a rough on Nick.
Is it just Scooby?
Yeah, it's just Scooby. It's tough to gauge how the refs are going to call it, and because it's been physical, but
Cody Dries is kind of tapping hit the stick of a Husky there. Can't see the number on that guy, but looks like he may be trying to get something going. Cody egged on by many of his fraternity brothers here tonight.
Ducks hockey favorite Frat is in the house. Made the difference up in Seattle when they came. A whole new energy was in the building.
Absolutely, that was still one of the coolest sporting environments I've seen. Felt like a neutral site kind of tournament game. Both teams had a lot of fans. Big, nice Olympic ice that they have up there in Seattle. Just a great second game. That first game we won't talk about as much. And here come the Huskies on the power play. Jackson makes the save, or Jackson with the shot, and
Ben Green
with the save.
Yeah.
Huskies behind the net, setting up on the power play. They go for the one-timer, and that one saved away. Jackson making another shot. Pat Taylor lost the stick, but he's able to go right back up and get it. From the point, and going for the deflection there where the Huskies not able to finish. Still with it, though. They've turned and fire.
Shot.
Alex Black has his shot blocked.
Huge shot blocked by Toller there. Like you just mentioned, he's a big guy. Perfect guy to have out there on the penalty kill to move bodies and direct traffic in front of the net.
And he tries to make a hit there. That's one for Jackson. Oh, what a save! Oh, but it goes in. Ben Green made a great save, and then J.D. White finished it.
Like you said, great initial save there by Ben Green, but couldn't secure the rebound, not his fault. James White was able to finish there. Great shot, top shelf. Back to the Husky lead.
Just about halfway through this hockey game, 10-12 left. Second period, the Huskies back on top at 3-2. Here's Jake Yale. And shot through from Leonard. Harrison Landers with it. Had to go back to the neutral zone. The Ducks have to get back onside. They do. Now Jake Yale with it. Yale back onside. Yale with a nice move. Yale still with it and does 98% of it there, but then fired it high and wide. Ducks trying to keep that one in. Trying to get it back for Yale. Yale still with it. Oh, nice move, but couldn't complete the whole process there. Just barely kept in by Toller. Toller will flip it back behind the net. Zach Foss giving chase. Foss with a big hit. And now through the neutral zone, here come the Huskies, but they'll just have to dump it in and around. Horton gets a change, so does Washington with 9 minutes left in the second period. That one is not icing, whistled off. Skabara was close enough to it. And now he's got the puck.
Great
One-timer! Blocked. Loose in front. Still loose. Still loose. They score.
Nick Skabara.
On the rebound, it's Nick Skabara. So we're picking up the pace already. Rebound goals up plenty again.
That is all Nick Skabara there. The effort that he put in on that play, chased it to wave off the icing. That was a great pass to Seth Starr. Good block by the Washington defense, but Skabara never gave up on the play. Was able to get the rebound goal. That's a huge goal to be able to tie it up. It looked like the Huskies were going to get back on the edge and could possibly run away with the game, but Nick Skabara tied it up. That's huge.
And that'll get the fans going a little bit. Here come the Ducks again. Here's Campbell. That'll be a penalty.
Could be a penalty shot.
And, I mean, well, it's a slash. It was a breakaway.
It was a breakaway.
It was a clear scoring opportunity.
It's a safe call.
And, 2 minutes of power play time over one chance on a penalty shot. It's really always a little bit of a mixed bag when you get the penalty shot because it's an opportunity for a huge momentum play, but I bet if you were to look at penalty shot numbers, I can't imagine that the success rate is higher than 20%. Goalies are really pretty good. And Oregon scores again.
Another
one more time.
Someone needed to step up with Trevor Schott out of the lineup. Nick Skabara answered the call. Having himself a great game so far.
And we've got a Devin Garg sighting again, although it was watching him skate back. He has really not been able to make much of an impact tonight, although you say that with bated breath because at any moment he just moves so effortlessly around the ice that even Devin Garg at 50% is still better than
a good player.
Most of the players in the Pac 8. Huskies get the face-off win. It's the first Oregon lead of the night so far at 4-3. And Ben Green immediately has to make one of those easy but harder than it looks saves on a bouncing puck. Fans making a little bit of noise here. More than halfway through the second period. Could be quite the chuck-a-puck tonight at the second intermission.
I will not be participating for the people.
Here's Sammy again. Sammy with a nice move. He shoots and up high, almost a mask save there. Had a Dr. Feldman.
Ducks have played really well so far this period. A lot of energy. Never gave up. Never allowed the Huskies to take advantage of the lead they had. They just kept battling back. And Nick Sabara can easily be said, he can be credited with as the catalyst for this comeback.
Yeah.
But we cannot forget about Mr. Four Goals to get it.
No, he got the game-tying goal there. Washington, took the lead back pretty much immediately after that. But 2 straight goals from the Ducks to make it 3-3 and then 4-3 for the first Duck lead. Did they get a lead last night at all, or was it the first lead since the early part of Game 1 in the I-5 Cup? It's been a rough go of it for Oregon against Washington
this is their first lead since the first period of last night's game.
Washington players behind us think there should have been a penalty there. Don't really blame them. Jake Yale flips it back for Starr. Good save.
Yeah, one thing I don't think we mentioned, but I've noticed, Jake Yale is an excellent passer.
Yeah.
He's an excellent passer. Was able to find Seth Starr there. He's been able to find Trevor Schott a lot of times this year with some good, crisp passes. And I can see why Coach Leahy likes to pair Jake Yale up with Zach Foss, because those two have a good rapport and they make some good passes.
Yeah, they really do, and passing is an underrated skill because as a hockey with hockey, if you don't get that puck cleanly on your stick, and we saw it from Nick Scabara last night.
Yeah,
he had an opportunity right in front of goal. I believe it was a 1-goal game at that time. I'm practically making the goal call, and he just it kind of knuckled on him a little bit. He couldn't handle it cleanly, and it was up into the netting harmlessly. Earl's got a parade of children behind him.
Well, we saw Jake Yale give Trevor Schott an excellent pass last night for Trevor's first.
Yeah. And Scabara had it briefly. Starr back behind the net going forward. We have a Chris Maddox sighting on the ice. Would love to get Chris a goal. Darren Toller now moving backwards with it. Toller's game has come a long way this season.
It has.
And it was a great improvement in the offseason, too, really just becoming a complete player for the Ducks.
Well, the Ducks really needed him tonight because they're down Joe Hoover and Michael Luke. One of the defensemen had to answer the call, and luckily, we've seen a great game from the defensemen so far. Darren Toller, Harrison Landers had a great game, and Jesse Leonard filling in on defense. He's done a good job as well. And now with Taron Donnelly out, we haven't seen him since that big hit. Defense just got that much shorter. It looks like Cody Dries will be playing defense now.
Yeah, we did see Dries out at the point on that last shift, and Dries will have to behave himself. Miscommunication from the Huskies there. Devin Garg went to collect a puck that Gustafsson wanted to slam home himself. Toller, good, nice, clean, fundamental hit. Huskies with the puck. Jackson turns and fires it. It's knocked down by Nick Scabara. Here he comes across the red line. He has Pat Taylor also. Instead, he'll fire it, and there's a rebound, but Taylor overskated it just a little bit. Back for Harrison Landers. Landers thought about the D-to-D pass. Instead, stopped, got it back for Yale, and trickled away from Jake. Has to go back through the neutral zone. Washington now gains the zone. And
that could have been an offsides call.
Very close to it. Instead, a nice pass made from Garg, but not able to do anything with it was J.D. White. 5:40 left second period. Oregon with a 4-3 lead. They're first in quite a bit, and someone's stick has gone flying. It looks like the goalie stick, isn't it? And Chris Campbell tried to give his stick back to Ben Green, and I'm not sure the Greens saw him, but no harm, no foul in the long run, as everyone has their appropriate stick back. 5:21 left on the official clock. We'll get our clock up there as soon as we can. entertainment purposes only, our clock, but Dylan does a great job with it. We're glad to have that at all. That took us a long time let me rephrase that. That took Dylan a long time of reading things on the internet and downloading different programs and trying different things and making us all look competent. 5:19 left as we restart here. Foss couldn't handle that cleanly and then is hit pretty hard into the boards. We've got 4 bodies tied around that puck. It must be moving just enough. The referee's got a line of sight to it. Didn't whistle that play dead. Scabara played it back for Dries there, who again is playing a little bit out of position on defense. And Foss is hit again there. Kept in by the Huskies. That one deflected up and out of play.
Nick Shabar doing it on both ends, getting the 2 goals here in the second, and I think a big shot block there, because if he didn't block it, that could have been a rebound and could have been a good chance for the Huskies. You know, we talked about back checking last night and forwards playing defense. I think tonight we've seen the forwards come back and help the defensemen a lot. And going forward, that's going to be big, because I don't think Taron Donnelly will play the rest of the game. There's no inclination of him looking like he's going to get dressed to get back out there, especially in today's day and age with concussions and the movie coming out. There's just a heightened level of awareness of the injury.
And it's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
I mean, I think maybe it's a little easier for me to say as somebody who's never really played hockey at a super competitive level. I know there's a lot of the old guard in hockey, just as there is in football, that will have you say, well, back in my day, we just played like men.
Yeah.
But
don't we love hearing that one? Never heard that one before.
Men with brain damage don't really do well late in life. So good to see the increased emphasis on concussions at all levels of play. We saw one of the kiddie games right before us, and at the junior levels in USA Hockey now, they wear the stop sign on the back. If you can see someone's numbers, flat out just don't hit them. And it's good that that's really being taught from an early level. You and I talked a little bit about rule differences and when you can hit now. And you used to be able you could hit in Pee-wee, and kids' body sizes at that level, there's just such a wide range. Maybe it's a good thing.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't like it, because I think as a Pee-wee you learn to hit then, because
and that's the counter argument.
You're not looking to kill anyone in Pee-wees. But see, I reffed Bantams when the rule was put in place, and these kids just don't know how to hit, because at that point, you know, the hormones are kicking in, they're older, and this is their first time that they're able to hit. And I think there were probably more game misconducts and match penalties the year after that rule was put in place, because these kids just didn't know how to hit. But I think there is now also a big emphasis on playing with your head up as well, to make sure that even a clean hit doesn't knock you out of the game. And Cody Dries will take the penalty.
Cody Dries does take the penalty. The sarcastic applause from the Washington players behind us. And 3:48 left in this period. Oregon does have the 4-3 lead. And it's a slash called against Cody. If J.D. White could have handled that cleanly the first time, he would have had a wide open goal. As it stands, shot block prevented that from even getting through to Mr. Green. Alex Black, White. It's a combination of players. Back for Tevin Jackson behind the goal. Jackson pokes it around to Tyler Jennings. Jennings back up, slap shot from the Huskies, gloved by Green.
We're used to seeing Jackson with the glove there. Ben Green had a nice little glove save there.
Yeah, Greeny's been watching Howery, I think.
I think he has.
Almost said glove save Howery out of habit there. And still a minute and 22 seconds left of that slashing penalty to Cody Dries. Foss uses his body there, separates man from puck, but it goes behind the net. Still for the Huskies, they try to center it. Dangerous. They have to go a little more slowly. Tavin Jackson, cross-ice pass now for Tyler Jennings. Jennings threw it on goal. And trying to clear it out of the Ducks. They do get it towards Pat Taylor, but right place, right time was Jennings to keep that for the Huskies. Now here's Tavin Jackson. Jackson with a great pass attempt to J.D. White, begging for the diving header there. White throws it through, he scores. Has Washington scored on even strength tonight? It seems like many of their goals at the very least.
Well, the first one was even strength, I believe. It's a tough one for the Ducks. The penalty kill was looking good up until that point. Washington was able to capitalize. You know, at this point, if you're able to grab a lead here, I think your main focus is to stay out of the box, because with what you just mentioned, if the Huskies, they've capitalized on a majority of their power plays.
And that one, it was we've used this word to describe power plays in the past on this broadcast. That was a patient effort from Washington.
Yeah,
they moved the puck well. They had a couple of good opportunities there, and in the end, it was just too much for Oregon to deal with. Ducks also didn't really get a good solid clearance the whole length of the ice, and what do they got coming up here? Hooking penalty against Jesse Leonard. When was the last time you heard this song? Oh, and Leonard was ready to sit down.
Campbell can't believe it.
Campbell doesn't know?
He didn't think it was on him. When the referee said it was you, he couldn't believe it.
Well, they will tell Campbell, and he will sit. J.D. White. White back for Jackson. And now Zach Foss trying to clear. Foss went the wrong way with it, lost possession of it. Trying to battle for it back along the boards, but it goes back now for the Huskies. Still Tavin Jackson, or Alex Black rather. Black behind the net. They try to get it back to him. That pass blocked, but right back to the Huskies. J.D. White still with it. Tyler Jennings rips one that's gloved by Green. DJ McBride working it tonight. $1:21 left in this period. And for the at least fourth time in this series, unless Washington scores in the remaining minute or so of this period, we look like we're headed for a couple of seconds of carryover power play time. J.D. White now behind the net. Alex Black. Thinking about the shot was McGrew there. Or excuse me, Ryan Hammerin. Alex Black. Back for J.D. White. Thinking about the one-timer was Hammerin. Thought about the slap shot. Then ended up passing. Alex Black with the puck now. 45 seconds left, second period. Ducks and Huskies tied at 4. Shot attempt there block from Black, and a lot of traffic in front. Now here's an opportunity for the Ducks, shorthanded. Here comes Jesse Leonard. He goes down, and no call there. I think Leonard just I
think he just fell.
I think that's a good no call. Rebound is there. Still loose in front. Good clearance by the Ducks, and here's Jesse again with an opportunity. A move by Leonard. And he can't finish it off, but a great play shorthanded from Jesse Leonard there. Scabaro with it behind the net. He's got 10 seconds. Back for Yale, and it's too far out in front. And now, 4 seconds left. Devin Garg throws a check. And that'll do it for the second period. Picking up a little bit. Still not as high scoring as you and I were expecting.
Yeah.
But 4-4 is not a low-scoring game after 2 periods. 8 total goals, split evenly between the two teams. We'll do as we always do. We'll take a quick break and try and get some hydration, and then we'll be back with you for the third period. Don't go anywhere. live from your computer box and just about set for the third period. I'm Isaac Rosendahl, joined by Colin Catman, Bella Manning on camera, Dylan Lee, our producer, and our whole crew. Carissa Corley's up front, our wonderful camera photographer Stephanie Lovell as well. Hoping that you're enjoying this game of hockey, and we've had an actual game of hockey.
Great game.
It's been great. It's been back and forth. Huskies jumped it out to that 2-0 lead. Since then, it's been neck and neck. Now a 4-4 tie. What were your thoughts on that second period to distill it down for us?
It was a very even period. Huskies still outshot the Ducks 13-10, but Nick Shabar just played an excellent period, was the catalyst for the comeback. Played great defensively, had a huge shot block on the penalty kill, 2 great goals. Anyone's game at this point. I can't say who has the momentum. It's very, very even right now. But but you and I both thought that the second period the scoring would open up a little bit. Yeah. But Feldman and Green, and Ben Green specifically, because it's a Ducks broadcast, we weren't sure what goalie we were going to see tonight because we haven't seen much of him. But he's played a great game so far, and James Feldman's played a very good game himself. This is his last I-5 Cup game. I'm sure he's trying to go out with a bang. I don't know how this third period will go. It's very even. There's been a lot of shots each period, so it's going to be an interesting period to say the least.
Absolutely, and we will have 6 seconds, so not a whole lot.
Again, with the team on the...
This is exactly what we've been talking about. It's happened. You'd have to go back to look at the score sheets to figure out the actual numbers, but I think this is the 4th or the 5th time already that we've seen carryover power play time to start a period. In this case, it's just 6 seconds of it. But, we got to get with this. This is all going to boil down to this third period as we get the kids their ball back.
Trying to shoot pucks at me.
So we'll see if we get any kind of fights or skirmishes or extracurriculars of any kind of nature. We haven't even brought this up, but the other trouble for Ben Green is that he's playing without a backup tonight.
Right.
If anything happens to Ben Green, Oregon's going to have to either make it, they're going to have to play 6 on 5. Maybe there's somebody on that bench who knows what to do in goalie pads, but they're still going to have to play 6 on 5 for 10 minutes while they get dressed. And by the time that happens, probably wouldn't be any game left. So let's hope it doesn't come to that, because Ben Green's been putting on a good show tonight. And right off the bat, you see who's back out there for the Ducks. Taron Donnelly is out playing, so good to see that he's okay. He took quite the nasty hit. Clean hit.
That's great news
in the neutral zone, but it looked, he went down for a moment, and it was sort of that thing where for just kind of a half second he was down holding his head, and you thought, oh boy, that's not going to be good.
It's probably a good decision to sit him out the rest of that second period, have the extra time in the intermission to, be able to clear the cobwebs, but it's really good to see him back out there because that defensive unit's already thin as it is.
Absolutely, and that, in theory, should allow Cody Dries to slide back to his more natural forward position.
We've seen Cody play defense before, and he's done a good job when he has. And I think Jesse Leonard's done a great job on defense tonight.
Yeah, Jesse's a guy that's been... He'll fit anywhere you play him. He's played offense, he's played defense.
He's had a lot of good shot blocks, too.
And those shot blocks, they don't feel very good.
No.
Jake Yale chasing that one down. It's deflected, so there's no consideration of an icing. Jammering on the puck for Washington. Jammering through the zone. Nice hit there from Oregon, and the Ducks take possession. Zach Foss tried to flip it for Leonard, too far out in front, and it goes back for the Huskies. Karam's around the boards. McGrew with the brief touch there. Now back out, Jammering with it. Jammering just plays it to the corner, and the Ducks trying to do something offensively here. They'll have to get possession first, as Washington doing a good job with it. There's Devin Garg, and I don't know what's up with Devin Garg. It's hard to gauge what his injury is, but he hasn't looked like himself so far tonight.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if we could ask Lorenzo or maybe one of the players behind us to see what the injury actually is. I imagine it's probably lower body because he doesn't look as fast.
Yeah, and that was the most noticeable skill that Gark had.
Was
when we saw him in
incredibly fast.
Seattle. He's just really fast, really smooth skater, and just looks so comfortable on the ice. And he looks like he's having to labor a little bit harder tonight, work that much harder. Puck taken away, and Rosenberg shoots that one behind the net. Didn't hit goal. And now taken away. Huskies with an opportunity on a break. Here come the Huskies. But stick check away there as Joseph Kinkoff was trying to do something. No, they're good. Stick check. And Campbell went down to the ice trying to block that one, but the shot never came. Backed around Rosenberg. Flips it up for Campbell. Campbell fires wide. Flip back in. Rosenberg trying to get it, but it's taken by the Huskies. Corey Trung with a touch, and he'll just flip it up. Green with a touch of his own, and now Jesse Leonard knocked off the puck a little bit. Has to come back and try to shield it. Still been maybe Washington with the initiative a little bit more so far in this third period. Tyler Jennings shoots, side netting. Almost, boys, behind us. Almost. 16:59. And 4-4 still the score. That one again deflected, no ice. Everyone's got to chase it down. Seth Starr wearing 11, and they'll make sure he's reported as 11 on the score sheet next time the Ducks wear these green jerseys. Alex Black. 2-on-2 break. They try to get it. That scores. Just a strange deflection there.
It's a tough one.
Credit has to be given where credit is due. Never giving up on that play was J.D. White.
Was that White?
I thought it was White. Was it not?
I'm not sure, because that would be his hat trick, and I think the Sally would be harder.
You know what? White
I think it's contact.
definitely wasn't White, because White doesn't appear to be out there.
Yeah. That's a tough one for Ben Green and for the Ducks team. Just an awkward bounce off the stick.
It was a chip shot there.
Yeah. Was a chip shot. Approach game very strong.
Very approach game strong indeed. Meanwhile,
That's
Sammy
Alex
Roller. They give it to Black, you say?
Yeah, they gave it to Black.
We're just going to stop guessing. So 5-4 the score. Huskies retake the lead again. Wouldn't be a sweep, but an undefeated I-5 Cup is what the Huskies are looking to finish off here, and would be one of the stronger finishes in this tournament that we've seen in recent, or really not even so recent memory.
Well, if there was ever a line that could tie this game back up, it's this line right here. Nick Skabara and Chris Campbell have had themselves a game.
And Scooby shoots and kick save, and a beauty there. Good job by Chris Campbell. Just knocks that one back. Scooby's still with it. Scooby's still with it. Now he goes back for Donnelly. Deflected, puck's loose. And jumping on it is Feldman.
That's a big save by Feldman, because that's the shot. Taron Donnelly, all defensemen, all young defensemen out there, that's the shot you need to take. Low into the pads. Feldman didn't give up the rebound, and that's big.
16:01 left. Still plenty of minutes and seconds left in this hockey game. Jake Yale digging in for the faceoff. Yale, probably the Ducks' best faceoff guy. And he wins that one, but it's knocked back around the net, and Washington will take possession. Yale catches that one and tries to throw it on goal, but hits some Husky skates and sticks, and now the Dogs with the puck. Jesse Leonard has to go back. Leonard plays it off the boards, and Yale with the touch, couldn't pass it cleanly. And Yale tried to just kick it to himself there. Now Kinkoff, he shoots, and the save made by Green. He'll dive on the rebound.
Yeah, that whole winning the face-off, that's a art and a skill that doesn't get appreciated enough, I don't think. It's kind of like on-base percentage in baseball. You know, if you have a guy that can win a faceoff, faceoffs are big. We saw it in that Utah game where right off the faceoff, it was just, I think the guy even shot it. He didn't even try and win it back to his defenseman.
Which is something I have tried to do on PlayStation about 100 times.
Has it worked?
And I've only done it once.
Okay.
And it didn't score.
Huh.
So there you go. Better than the video game, the Utah Utes. 15-15 left in this one. I'm also pretty bad at that game, so maybe that has more to do with it.
Well, Dylan found out how good I was.
Dylan seems to have forgotten.
I think it was 2-1. No? Okay.
Taylor now. Taylor trying to find Campbell. Couldn't get it there cleanly. Campbell's stick just wasn't down and ready for it. Alex Black now. Black with some space. Black trying to get around Toller.
Yep.
That's a penalty.
That's
good penalty
call.
from Darren there?
I'd say it is, because at that I don't think Donnelly would have made it back to cover Kawcheck in time. That's a good penalty by Toller. You just don't know. With Ben Green's played a great game tonight, but if Kawcheck has an open look at the net, I'm sure he'd probably capitalize on it. So that's a good penalty, I think, by Toller.
Well, 14:44 left in this one. And the call officially tripping. There's a lot of things that probably could have been against Toller, but no argument from us. And that's about the third time this season that neither one of us has had any problem with the penalty called against the Ducks. So see, we do possess the capability of being objective.
Yes, and that was Alex Black, actually. That wasn't Kawcheck. My mistake.
Well, 14-15 left now. Washington's got the lead, but on the power play, they'd like to add to it. Jesse Leonard trying to get the clearance on that one. It does get to the blue line, but no farther. Now it's J.D. White with it for the Huskies. He throws it behind the net for Black. Black now just barely kept in by Jennings. Behind the net go the Huskies. One-time attempt. Hammer and shoot saved. Oh, Tavin Jackson. Kind of very easy finish there, but couldn't get his stick to that puck. A lot of open space to shoot at. That time he doesn't make a mistake. 6-4 the score.
That's just a great finish by Jackson. Bar down, even better pass. Huskies have themselves a very, very good power play, very patient. Ducks, we've said a lot this year, they have a strong penalty kill. I don't know what's happened. They haven't really been able to apply that pressure in Washington's defensive zone and in the neutral zone. It's been in the Duck zone most of the time, and I don't think that plays into the Ducks' hands, to be honest with you. And nor do I think it plays into anyone's hand. If you can't get out of your defensive zone or the neutral zone, you don't have a power play. So Washington's been able to crack the code on that. And that they've had themselves a great power play this series.
Well, 13:27 now left in the third period.
But it's still a game, especially with both, even though Feldman and Green have had good games, at the end of the day, they are the backup goalies. We haven't seen Feldman play at all this year, so we'd like to say he's not tested as much, but so we still got ourselves a game.
And that one will trickle back into the neutral zone, so back to even strength after the power play marker. Gustafson with it for the Huskies. Big hit thrown there. That one will go down, and no ice called. Skates tied up a little bit there. Now behind the net again, disappears along the near side boards. Does squeak out into the neutral zone. Washington will throw it in, so they've got to get back on side. Ducks try to get a new group out there. Pat Taylor tried to hack at that one, but now it's back with Gustafson. He shoots, save made, rebound is there. Rebound! Could not be put home by Washington. And that puck stuck somewhere, and Seth Starr involved in a shouting and shoving match. And it's going to be, I think, a Husky going to the box, maybe?
It's going to be on guard.
Over there.
They're sending both. That's the right call. There's been a few instances in today's game where we thought that there should have been offsetting penalties. So that's good that the refs brought both in there.
12:38 left in this game and in this I-5 Cup. It's not easy for me to get these words out, but it's been an I-5 Cup that's been fairly well dominated by the Huskies.
Yeah, I'd say so, but at the same time, I think it's been even for most of the games. You know,
they've just been.
But they have, at the end of the day, they have won. But it's tough to say they have a clear advantage. You know, they have a slight advantage because all the games have been, highly contested.
It's just a bad hand the Ducks got dealt because after that first game, they just. They had such a disadvantage, and when they really couldn't have done anything else with that first game. And since then, Washington's been able to just kind of take the initiative in this series. Still a lot of time left in this game, though. And who knows, perhaps these teams will meet again in Tahoe. Saved there by Feldman, left a little bit of a rebound, but Washington was able to control. And Jesse Leonard has to go back to get it. Leonard moving backwards behind his own net. Flips it up forwards off the boards for Scavara. And now back for Chris Campbell. Campbell with a big hit there. Just absolutely obliterating Josh McGrew.
McGrew was going for the hit on Campbell, and Campbell wasn't having any of that.
Chris was having none of that, sir. 44 rather left. Ducks get it across the blue line onside and just fire it back behind the net. They'll get a line change, so no sustained possession from the Ducks there, and that's been something that's been missing. Harrison Landers on the puck. Landers has played a pretty strong game tonight.
Oh, he's had a great game. Done really well in the power play, and with Michael Luke and Joe Hoover out, he's done a great job stepping up.
Foss going for the hit there. Jake Yale collects and sweeps that one out. And then the Ducks had a little bit of trouble with it. Now back up ice comes Foss.
I just noticed this. This is 4-on-4. That's strange.
Off the post, it rang there.
Can't believe that wasn't offsetting.
And here's Landers. Landers with the shot. Comes back to him. He'll get a chance to do it again. 4-on-4 shot goes wide from Harrison. Darren Toller going deep into the zone to try and dig that one out. And we're back from 4s to 5s. Garg and Starr back out there. And here's Devin Garg. There's that skating ability we've seen from Garg, and really good job of shielding the puck there. Couldn't be knocked away from him, but didn't get a shot in. Oh, it's been a rough 45 seconds for Josh McGrew.
McGrew just can't get a good hit on.
He's tried to light up Chris Campbell, and he tried to light up Seth Starr, and he got his bell rung each time. Penalty coming up there, clearing space in front of the Ducks. Goal! And a Husky goal.
Well, that's still going to be a penalty, too.
That might be your backbreaker.
Yeah. Ben Green with a good initial save there. Just too many Huskies swarming the net. And
that's been the story of his night. It's been second effort.
This can't reflect on Ben Green or the defensive unit, though, because these D-men, you see Harrison Landers, he's worn out. They're tired. They're shorthanded. They've done a great job all night. They have Jesse Leonard. They have a forward playing defense. Severely outmatched. When you're down defensemen, that's tough. That's really tough, because at the end of the day, a forward's a forward. He doesn't know the craft of defense. He can try to do the best job he can, but if you played defense your whole life, you know how the position works. These guys have played their hearts out tonight. It's a tough one. The Huskies really did show up to play in this second game.
And so they call interference against Seth Starr. Cycling the puck now are the Huskies. Jamarin. Back to Jamarin. Back out wide. Huskies taking their time, and why wouldn't they, with a 3-goal lead and less than 10 minutes left in the game on the power play. The trouble now, or the Question now is, are the referees and the players going to be able to maintain control over this game? Based on what we've seen so far, they've got a tall order.
You know, one thing to point out with this Washington team, I think you and I both thought that we presumed Garg was out, we know Cinderella's out. We didn't think the Husky offense would be as lethal as it was last night. And then next thing you know, you have Taven Jackson coming in here, and he's the one that steps up. He has a hat trick in this game. So they got a lot of guys that step up when their stars are either hurt or suspended.
And that comes back to coaching, I think.
Yeah.
You know, it's you got to get your guys ready. Take nothing, you know, obviously credit to Jackson and Jamaroon as well, because, you know, that's not easy to do. But Matt Cleaton's done a very good job with this Husky team and his assistants as well of getting them ready to play in any kind of circumstance. And you know, they've been more ready to play that kind of next man up mentality. 8:43 left. Jake Yale has to try to clear that. He can't. Now back for Tevin Jackson. And it's knocked away there, but still Huskies with the puck.
Well, to point out as well, all three of these guys who've clogged the score sheet for the Huskies are all freshmen. So we'll be seeing a lot of them the next few years with this I-5 Cup.
Cody Dries tries to tell J.D. White what he thinks about him, and it's going to lead to another Husky shot from Tevin Jackson. 8:11 left in this one, 8 seconds left on the penalty to Star. Shout out to Matthew Wicks keeping us company on Twitter. Been following along with us the whole game. Good to hear from you, Matt. And Gustafsson throws that one behind the net. Taron Donnelly tries to give chase to it, but again, the Huskies just keeping this puck in the duck end, not allowing Oregon to get a line change. And now it'll go trickle down the length of the ice. Oregon tried to get you guys out there.
Oh, Sam tried to give the hit there.
Rosenberg with one of the Ducks' 4 goals tonight.
One of the 4 goals.
I was just going to say, I see we said the thing. Huskies, though, doing better at picking themselves up, dusting themselves off so far. And here they come, offside. And I think that's going to cost the Ducks a penalty, and may cost the Huskies a penalty too, or they may just slap them on the wrists and say it doesn't matter.
I don't know why Kinkoff is so high-strung there on an offsides and when they're winning the game.
Winning the game, they won the series. They're going to finish higher in the Pac-8.
All right, if you're going to get upset about a little bump, it's hockey, okay? You know, no need to get all high-strung over that. But also, you know, Jesse Leonard he doesn't have to go and bump them, but that's the I-5 Cup. That stuff happens.
And that was a pretty calculated bump from Jesse. I think it was just a bump. It was nothing more.
That stuff happens, though.
Just saying, you know, I'm here.
We can all say, oh, that shouldn't be a part of the game. Oh, it's going to be a part of the game no matter what we say. No need to get all high-strung over that.
Jake Yale and had it tipped away from him. Now back Cody Dries, flips it, dumps it in. Going back with it. Where the Huskies, and now, again, just has to be thrown back behind the net. Harrison Landers clearing a little bit of space. Huskies still with it. Big hit from Dries was the attempt, but Alex Black, just the bigger dude there, sat Dries down. I think Cody got him on the follow-through. Going for the wraparound with the Huskies there, but they fell down. And Yale tries to tip that one through. Ducks got to be careful on the line change. They're almost too many men.
Well, Pat Taylor with a good job jumping there. I think they would have got him if the puck would have touched the skate or anything like that.
Campbell going to try to poke that one away. Washington still with it. You got Ducks have a shot in this period?
They have 4.
You got 4 of them. It's
It's just been a while.
Felt like it's been the ice has been pretty tilted towards one end. And again, Washington has made good adjustments. We got a delayed penalty coming up here. It's going to go against Oregon. But this whole series, Washington has really done a good job making those intermission adjustments.
They have. Well, they've outshot the Ducks in every period of every game so far in this series. It's pretty clear that their motto is just throw the puck on net, and it's worked for them. They've scored 8 goals last night. They got 7 tonight. So, look, going forward, if the Ducks end up qualifying for the Pac-8 tournament and play the Huskies, I think the one thing they need to look out for is the amount of shots that the Huskies are going to throw on net, because they do throw it on net at will from any angle. But then they are very disciplined on their power play. 2 kind of different modes they play in. On even strength, they're just firing it on net, and on power play, they're passing around waiting for that open opportunity.
Yeah, it's a good observation, because it is kind of a duality that the Huskies have there. But it's worked for them.
It has.
And it's hard to argue when it works for you. And you get a team like Utah that just plays like it's on the power play 60 minutes a game. Huskies with it behind the net. J.D. White trying to center, and there's no one there for the Ducks to do anything other than just get a half poke at that one. 5 minutes left just about in this one, and a 3-goal lead for Washington. Ducks have their work cut out for them if they want to salvage a win. As they hit the clearance there, but Jammering with it
right there.
Barely let it get to the red line. And now Jammering back with it again. Ducks just trying to get a shift of offensive possession here.
It just looks like all the guys are tired. Great shot by Garg.
Absolutely great shot by Devin Garg. That's the Devin Garg that we were worried about seeing.
You showed me a video the other day of Crosby kind of scoring, same angle, top shelf. Both players went to Shattuck St. Mary's. Obviously, Garg and Crosby on 2 different levels, but that was a great shot there. And, he hasn't looked like the same player we saw up in Seattle, but I think that goal kind of just reminded us. That goal was a
flash of brilliance. Yeah. It was a tight angle he had to work with. Here come the Ducks now trying to answer. At this point, really, we're looking at consolation for the Ducks, any goal that they can score. I think even some of the Huskies behind us are ready for this game to be over. It's been much to their liking, though. And credit to the fans. Duck fans have done a good job sticking around here. 3:55 left. Some of them have left for warmer. Oh, there you go.
When it rains, it pours.
And it's a flood right now.
Yep.
I don't even know how that puck went in the net. Skates of green? Or skates of a defenseman? Dylan says he saw that one go off the skates of Ben Green.
Really?
And in, so... such a hard position. Goalie in any sport is tough, but I think hockey goalies might have it harder than anybody else.
Absolutely. Well, even though the score says 9-4, I'd like to say Ben Green has played a great game, and he looks really solid through the first and second period. But I think the team in general is tired, especially the defensive unit. As shorthanded as they are, they all put in a good effort, but the next man up mentality of the Huskies and the swarming of the net, the shots they throw on net just turned out to be too much for the Ducks as the game went on. What ended up getting who's
.341 left in this one as we're counting it down, and good job from Landers there to knock that one down, but had to be played by the Huskies, and not much came of that one. Now Tavin Jackson with it. He'll fire it from any angle because that's been what's working for Washington so far in this game through nearly 60 minutes of hockey and a dominant third period so far from Washington. Ducks get it up ice just onside. Sam Rosenberg took it away. Now it's back behind the net. Posey will try to center it. It's still with Sammy.
Oh.
Still with it. He's took his shovel to the rink, and that's a trip. And maybe something else.
It looks like Jesse might have ran the goalie.
We got a...
Seth Starr wants to...
Seth Starr's got his gloves off. I don't think he has a Husky who's willing to join him.
I'd like to see the replay if we can get it, but it looked like Jesse Leonard might have ran James Feldman.
And looks like Feldman will be able to pick himself up. He's had a rough go of it tonight.
He has.
Been run into a couple times. They'll get the trainer out there to make sure he's doing okay. Jesse Leonard will sit and think about what he's done. Unless he's been shown the door, is Seth Starr going to get away with dropping his gloves?
I don't think he will. I think the refs are going to sort it out here, but he probably should be thrown out of the game.
He's probably done. You got to be sure at this level.
Leonard might get a major, though. But we'll see.
That's a... Good to see Feldman get back up. You and I have been very critical this year when it's happened at the other end of the ice on running the goalie. So... it has to be said, maybe...
I don't know if someone can correct me, but I didn't know if it was I don't know did Jesse run him intentionally?
The referee feels confident enough in making that statement with the 5 minutes.
That's what I thought it'd be a major. Running the goalie, like I said before, against Utah.
Jesse appears to be done.
So it'll be a 5 in a game. There's really no place for that. Running the goalie is one of those unwritten rules. You just don't do it. I got on a Utah player pretty hard about it, and you just can't do that. That's just one of those things. Running a goalie definitely will start a brawl, but because we've already seen one, I think the Huskies are practicing some good discipline here, not starting another. So that's just not a good hockey play. But I don't know if Jesse hit him intentionally or not. I couldn't really see it. But he was mad because he just went around and hit everyone afterwards.
Yeah.
After the goal, he went to the defenseman, hit him. Went to the other defenseman, hit him. So it'll be interesting to see if we can find out what happened from one of the players or something.
Looks like it's going to be the Ducks and only the Ducks penalized. And it'll be 5-on-3 most of the rest of the way. Get any more exciting, they might just tell us that we're not allowed to play anymore. Campbell, the separate penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Was Chris even on the ice for that?
I did not see him, but Jesse Leonard emerges back from the locker room. He'll sit at the edge of the door. Watch this one finish up.
That's a tough one for Jesse. I thought he played a great game.
Rebound again, and Huskies are just aggressive. They're on the puck, and they've run away with this one. And Campbell will will be allowed out.
Well, I don't think Jesse was actually thrown out. More or less, there was three minutes left in the game when his penalty took place.
Yeah.
So it's a 5-minute. Probably just got thrown out. Probably just left for that. He wouldn't see the ice for the rest of the game anyway.
I think a referee can do that on a major in the last 5 minutes of the game.
Yes, he can. Well, I think you could do that, like especially if it's a major too. If it's a 2,
you gotta stay out
small.
there.
Yeah.
Unless you get a 2 and a 10, something like that.
Well, probably just to avoid another brawl in the handshake line or something. Probably best to just have him sit the rest of the game out.
Taryn Donnelly throws a big hit and then tries to take a piece out of a Husky there. Rebound goal for the Ducks. Jake Yale with some consolation, shorthanded.
Well, Yale's just doing what he's done the entire year. Crashed the net. He's gotten a ton of rebound goals. Too little, too late, though, for the Ducks.
All they need to do is get another 5 goals in the next minute and 54 seconds. You don't think that's going to happen?
We've seen crazier things before. The infamous call of, I think that'll do it. 0.8 seconds, but I think it's safe to say this one's pretty much wrapped up.
I did say probably. The call was that's probably going to do it.
True.
Always leave the door open. That one will go the length of the ice. Green will cover it. Ducks come back to protect him just in case.
That's good to see Corey Tung didn't ice the goalie there. I was kind of half expecting it. Not because of the player he is, but just given how the game's going and how the previous game went. But Seth Starr still didn't like it and gave Corey Tung a piece of his mind and now going to the box.
Starr is still just upset that he hasn't fought yet. As Seth gets the tee there. Unsportsmanlike conduct. We got a minute and 38 left to kill off with this. Ducks team is, I think, better than they have showed in these games. And it's just been kind of an altogether rough season as Washington is not letting up here. Buck 13 left.
Yeah, I think at this point in the game, you'd probably just like to see the clock run out. And I know in most cases it's the coach's or captain's choice if they want to run the clock out or not, but I don't know if that's the case in the ACHA or not.
And credit to the Ducks, they brought their pride to the rest of the game.
Well, hey, you know what? Look at them. They're still standing on the bench. You know, they look a little tired on the ice, but usually when you see a deflated team, they're all sitting down. They're all standing up. All you got to do is just wipe the slate clean, come back next week, whole new set of games.
And 1 minute left, and then this I-5 Cup will be all history, and for the Ducks, that minute cannot go by quickly enough. Cody Drees involved with J.D. White. 47 seconds left. Scabara and Yale. J.D. White now with it. Pace is slowed a bit as White's hit by Drees and hit again by Drees. And he's shrugging. Just some love taps from Cody there, that's all. Tavin Jackson behind the net. One-timer didn't get all the way through.
With
16 seconds. And can I say it now that that's probably going to do it?
That'll probably do it.
That'll probably do it. 5 seconds left. Washington will just circle on the puck. One last fight.
Seth Starr wants to.
Seth Starr is just
looking to fight anybody.
Yeah. He'll fight the referee if no Huskies are willing to fight. That one's on Seth. He'll get his opportunity to fight maybe next year, maybe another time. That is your final, 11-5. It was about as messy as we expected to see it tonight. Washington will celebrate all over again, and they'll probably take that cup for a victory lap just to remind everybody what's happened. And credit to Washington. They really did do a good job of keeping their cool tonight. They played their game, and emotions got the best of the Ducks a little bit, I think.
Well, they were short, and the defense played as well as they could have given the circumstances. They were really short, missing two big key pieces to that defense. Washington, got to give credit to them. Next man up all the time. Cinderella's yesterday, Jackson today. You know,
looks like they've told Seth Starr not to bother with the handshake line. Probably a good idea.
And James Feldman gets the win in his final I-5 Cup game. That's got to feel good for him.
Any final thoughts before we put a bow on this one?
Oh, they got to just... all they can really do is just let these games go, move on, get right in practice. They still got a few games left. They played their hearts out for the first two periods, just looked a little tired there in the third. You know, it's a tough one, but credit to the Huskies. They played a great game. They played the right game plan, which is throw shots on net. And hopefully the Ducks can get it right and still qualify for Pac-8s, but they definitely just need to move on from this series and get it right in practice.
Well, that will do it for us. We will be back with you next week. Not sure about the Friday game unless y'all want to petition my managers to give me the night off afterwards. I will not see you until next Saturday. Maybe, Colin, you going to be able to take a solo?
I could.
Well, we'll hold you to that commitment now. Colin will see you Friday. I'll see you Saturday. And we'll be back with you, we hope, in some way, shape, or form in Tahoe. We want to thank all of you for listening, and a shout out to the Husky fans as well. Thank you all so much for listening, and have a nice night.